I want to call this episode Problems in the Hood. Tales from the Hood. Won't you be my neighbor? In the neighborhood guy? Yeah. I always wondered why he changed his shoes. Like he put shoes on that were different inside the house than what he wore outside the house. Why not just take your shoes off in the house? Seems like it's superfluous to take shoes off, put different shoes on. That's a story for another time. So, Tales from the Hood, Problems in the Hood. This one's, I've been working on it with one of those crazy rubber wheel things, you know, that you're supposed to take, see that it's got Go Fast stripes on it. There's only one car that Go Fast stripes work on, and it's a Shelby. But it really has nothing to do with the stripes. It has something to do with the other thing. It's a story for another time. Somebody put Go Fast stripes on this and then set it out in the 4th level of hell. And it did this, which I don't think is really the desired outcome. Now, as I've tried to take this Go Fast stripe off, and I'll get you in here so you can see what it's done. But I'm going to warn you. You might want to leave people out of the room that aren't really good with this type of graphic horror. You know, small children, dogs, cats, you can leave them in the room. You know, elderly, and anyone who doesn't do well with graphic images. And I'll put a warning on the screen when we get in here so you can see some of this. But I thought getting it off the car was going to make it easier for me to work on it. And no, it didn't. And so it's forced me in a situation where I have one of two nuclear options. I can either get some of that stripper stuff.
Dance for me.
Not like the place down the street that's got no windows and has the neon lights out front that's open till all hours of the morning. The one my dad always told me to don't go in that parking lot. That's a different kind of stripper. I'm talking about stripper to get this stuff off. I wonder if you could hire a stripper to use stripper on your hood to get rid of your problems in the hood. There's a story in there somewhere. Anyways, the other nuclear option I have is just to get a different hood. So, I don't know. I think I might get a different hood because you remember we're trying to turn this car into some iteration of a Cobra R. And this isn't a Cobra R hood. But now that if I get another hood, I don't think I'm going to get a Cobra R hood. I might get a Cobra hood, but not a Cobra R hood. So, anyways, I never bought hoods for cars. I've always just left the factory ones on. So that'll be a learning experience. What else is going on today? We got one of those radio frequency devices that gives you the engine frequency based on your configuration. It's all math and science and voodoo witchcraft. I don't do any of that stuff. I met a shaman once, but that's a story for another time. So maybe I find an engine shaman that can help me to find the right radio frequency to put the right voodoo into this thing, pun intended. But I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But we're going to figure it out. Like, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And again, as long as you don't burn the car to the ground, you can fix it. What else we got? We got some aesthetic stuff. I've got a new horsepower thing for the front. This one makes more horsepower than that one. So because this is a new one and that's an old one. So we've got some of these well, you got at least one of these. This is one of those hold the Forte. Hold one of those the trunk thing, so it doesn't, you know, like when I get groceries out of the back of the car, it hits me in the arm and the head and all that stuff. So we'll put these on. The vanity's selfie mirror. Look at the loser behind you. That mirror is all crusty. And I don't know what happened to it. And I think this necrotic disease that was on here transferred into the loser mirror. So I got a new one of those, and we'll put that in. So I still got this box of Slinkies back here that I'm procrastinating on because I don't want to deal with it. But eventually we're going to have to get those on. I don't think we're going to do that today. That might be the next video. I've got wheels sitting here that are not for this car, but that's if you ever buy anything from that Patriot bodybuilder website, I would caution you, because it did not go well. I'm not happy. It's a long story. It's a story for another time. But just PSA for you guys: be careful where you're buying stuff from, because there's a lot of this shady stuff happening that it's not good. And we're a community, you know, and I don't care what you're into. You know, I know there's Mustang guys, there's Camaro guys, there's Challenger guys, there's Charger guys, there's JDM guys. Every car, I'm going to just tell you from experience. I have all kinds of cars. There's things you're going to love and hate about all of them. But if you say to yourself, oh, I'm just going to stick to Mustangs, or I'm going to stick to Camaros, or I'm going to stick to Challengers, you're missing out on some of the joy that these other manufacturers offer. I mean, I have Mustangs that I love and hate. I have Camaros that I love and hate. I have Jags that I love and hate. I have a Subaru that I love and hate. I have a Pontiac that I've never driven. Well, I've driven it, but it doesn't really, it doesn't run now. So, again, that's just something to tell you guys. Don't get myopic about being a gearhead. My mom drove a Camaro. My dad drove a Mustang. And I got the best of both worlds. And I learned very quickly that there was things that I loved and hated about each of them. And that's still true today. Every car I've ever driven, I've owned over 100 cars. And every car I've driven, there's something I hated about it and there's something I loved about it. The only car I've ever had that I hated everything about it was a rental car. And it was a Nissan. But that might have to do with the fact that it was a rental car and not so much that it was a Nissan. I don't know. Anyways, what we're going to do today, get our horsepower badge on, get a new engine cover, get the radio frequency on the engine, loser mirror, and I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to do, because I'm too lazy to do anything else. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is the devastation that has happened to this hood as a result of these Go Fast stripes. So you can see how the factory makeup has completely come off the car. Where I've gotten some of the Go Fast stripe off. And so, like, this is the Go Fast stripe. This is the factory makeup. This is the factory primer. The Go Fast stripe ends here. Well, there's two. There's a wide one here, and then there's a baby one right here. And then this is all factory makeup here. What I tried to do was get the rubber wheel to get this stuff off, and also used steam on this. So I got the steam thing out, and it lifted a lot of this, made it bubble, but that's what this area is here. where as it bubbled, it just took all of the factory makeup with it. You know, it's not a Cobra hood, so if I want it to be some custom iteration of a Cobra, I probably need to get something that looks more Cobra than this does, because this looks pretty stock GT with a scoop on it. So anyways, I've decided to get a new hood, and we're going to get that on the car, and then we'll show you what it looks like. My dad used to say you pay for what you get. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I decided to get, I went for a hood that I liked the way it looked. And it was relatively inexpensive. And I've gotten it on the car. And it's open right now because it doesn't really work. So this is another PSA for all of you guys. These aftermarket body parts, they don't always fit because there's no real quality control. There's no consistency. You could buy 10 of these and they're all going to be different. And so the hood pins or bolts that are in this hood don't line up to the factory hinges. And in order to get it to work, to actually get on the car to begin with, I had to expand the opening of the brackets on the car. And even still, it won't, I mean, it'll close, but it won't seal. Like it won't engage all the way. It's also too far to the driver's side rather than the passenger side. But let me get you in here so you can see what it looks like. So this is Duraflex version 2 GT500 hood or something. I don't remember. I love the way it looks, and my goal is to paint it. So the vents are going to stay black, and then the rest of it's going to be the color that I've got in mind for this car. But the main problem is that if you look over here, you can see how this has got an overlap here. So it's making contact with the fender. And on that side, there's a gap. So you can see this gap in here is huge. And it gets worse as we get further down. And you can see this. See how this is not attached, right? And I mean, it's got a little, you know, this came with a little bit of a, but we can fix that. I'm not worried about this. So I love the way it looks. I'm going to have to find a body guy to find a way to get this to line up correctly, because the only way I can think to do this is to pull those studs out on each side, body fill the openings, and then remeasure everything based off the factory one, and then get it put on here. The other option that I have is that I'm tempted to take this to somebody who can make me a carbon fiber one, because that would be pretty cool if they would just take this one, make a mold out of it, and then make it into carbon fiber. But that's going to cost me a kidney to do that. And I think I'm down to one. I think I already sold one for something else. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look. So, needless to say, like I said, love the way it looks. Doesn't fit. I'm terrified that again on the freeway it's going to go flying off the car. But I don't know. We'll see. So, next step is 1 horsepower. All right, so this is super simple, right? This is why I'm doing this first, because it's easy. 2 Phillips right here, and you just take this off, put the new one in, and you've got more horsepower than you had. Here we go. Alright, so yeah, super easy to get this on. So again, options that are currently available on Mustangs is the black badge option, right? So I think my S550's got the black badge option. Yeah, so black badge option on the S550. Pay no attention to the Go Fast stripes. I didn't do that. That was not me. I promise. I'm still stuck on this, guys, and I need your help. This is going to have a Shelby engine in it, one way or another, even if I have to sell my liver. So, by definition, a Shelby is really not a Mustang. At least the modern ones aren't. And if you look at a GT350 or a GT500, there is nothing Mustang about that car. Nothing. In fact, if you drive an S550 and drive a GT350, they're two totally different cars. There's absolutely nothing about them. The transmissions are different, the engine's different, the suspension's different. Everything about the car is different. So there's not a single that I can think of, other than maybe in the windshield, a Mustang logo anywhere on the GT350 car. So I may try to find a way to get the slither snake on here, which I don't know if it's going to work, but we're not doing that until that has appropriate matching slither snake power, which is, like I said, going to be probably somewhere around the time I enter a nursing home, but that's a story for another time. All right, the last thing is that we need to get headlights. I don't like these. I know a lot of people do. These are some sort of quad halo something or other. These came with the car when I bought it. I don't like them. I want to go back to more of the stock look, but I'm open to suggestions. So if you guys know of some headlights that make sense for what I want to do with this car, again, we're going to have the Cobra R front bumper on here eventually. That's ordered. 6 to 8 weeks is what they tell me. So we need to get some different headlights. So put comments about what headlights you suggest for this, and then we'll see about getting them ordered. You can kind of see, there it is. That's a good shot right there. See this disease that's kind of coming into the loser mirror. And it makes it hard when you're driving down the street and you see the losers behind you to see which ones they are. So I got a new one that we're going to put in. To get this out, there's a little notch up here. And from what I understand, you just put a little tool in there and then you pull away from the windshield, and then that'll come off. Now either we're going to break the glass or this is going to come off. There, out it comes. Now for the hard part. Okay, so it's not on, but it's not going anywhere. I'll tell you that much. And now we can see all the losers in the selfie mirror. So this is my problem. Yeah, that's what happens. That you come in here and you peel this collar off like that, and then hold the trunk, pull this off. And then the bottom is very similar. It has a collar on it as well. Alright, that's out. This is essentially just the reverse process, right? Put this on here. Okay, that one's on. Rotate this around. Let's clean this up just a little bit. Got dirt on it. And then that's all there is to it. So, got one side done. Now, oh yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Okay. Okay, so this is what I ordered. And it's kind of close your eyes and scroll down the screen, and just whenever you stop, then you put your finger there, and that's the one you order. I don't know. BDX. I don't know what BDX stands for. I mean, it's got some sort of frequency thing on it, so maybe we can get up the right radio station, and then the engine's going to sound better. So we've got 24-pound dinosaur sprayers. We now have a 24-pound MAF sensor in here. We have a 70 millimeter thing up here. And so it's not factory, but its frequency is factory. It didn't sound too bad this morning. It's been colder. So we're gonna dive into this thing. Okay, so this is all we're working with. Using provided OBD cable from plug PDX device into vehicle's OBD port, commonly found within 24 inches of the steering wheel. All right. So we have this thing here. This goes into the belly button of the car. And let me go do that. Searching device, no tunes found. Update. Wi-Fi connected, downloading files. You can change your fuel octane, your injectors. So we've selected 24-pound injectors with a 90 millimeter light MAF. Traction control is normal. You can actually turn it off. Spark 0 to 2000, 0 degrees, spark 2000 to 4000, 4000 to 8000. Air fuel ratio, I'm actually going to put this at 2% richer. Stock value for axle ratio. Tire revs mile, stock value, speed limit off. Okay, so that's what we've got. We're going to prove that. Turn key off. Okay. Turn key on. Do not turn ignition key off or disconnect device. Okay, saving stock data, which from what I understand, these will save your factory in here, and then you can revert back if you need to. So that's what it's doing right now, is it's saving the stock values off the vehicle, and then it's going to load what my settings were, which was the injectors and the MAF sensor. Writing tune. We're finding the engine frequency right here, right now. So I got this from LMR, Lemur, whatever that is. I think it was $3.99. These things are really expensive, guys. So, but if I were to take it, the kangaroo car is getting tuned right now, because I don't. That's a story for another time. And we're going to get it back next week. And I could buy 3 of these for what it's going to cost me to tune the kangaroo car, probably. But the kangaroo car needed some attention with an expert, because, like I said, that poor little kangaroo car's got 233,000 miles on it. And as much work as we did on it, it still needs somebody who has got a lot more experience than I do with kangaroo cars. Okay, the tune's been written. Turn the vehicle's ignition key to the off position. Okay, it's off. Programming complete. Congratulations, your vehicle has been programmed. Enjoy. There we go. We're just going to do it. Oh, I'm going to take my seatbelt off just in case I got to jump out. I think the best we can do is take it for a drive. Of course, we have another problem. As I was going to close the hood, I noticed we've stripped part of the belt. So let me get a new belt on here. And I'm not sure when or how that happened. The only thing I can think of is maybe I didn't have the Thor Cube charging machine lined up correctly. But we got a new one. This is a multi-V belt. I can only assume what the V stands for. No, we won't go there. OE Technology Series 4060935. All right, let's get this one on. Okay, change this out real simple. Right here, 3/8 wrench. Rotate this way. This will slide off, the belt will slide off this tensioner, and then you can pull the whole thing out.
Real hooker, and I'm gonna slap you in public.
So there's close calls, and then there's close calls. Now that my blood pressure's come down a bit, I feel like we can close out this video because I'm done after that one. Yeah. So again, they tell you most accidents happen within 5 miles of your house. That's just down the street here. And if you see, I got honked at. You know, I'm in the left lane and I get honked at. And again, I know what the problem is. It's 2 days before baby Jesus' birthday. So
you know, sweetie, Jesus did grow up. You don't always have to call him baby. It's a bit odd and off-putting to pray to a baby.
Well, look, I like the Christmas Jesus best, and I'm saying grace.
People's, their head's not in the game. It's on the in-laws in the house and the children screaming and kids not being grateful for what they get and all that other stuff that's right now in this season of the year. And so my PSA to you guys, be hyper vigilant, be offensive drivers, be predictable. Know what people are doing and what they're about to do and what they could do. Play the what if game and then act accordingly. You know, I was doing the speed limit. Had I been doing faster than the speed limit, this would have been a different conversation. And I was actually thinking as I was driving out in the neighborhood, I'm thinking, you know, this is when it happens. You get stuff dialed in, you start to get closer to where you want to go with a car, and then somebody else burns it to the ground. So good news is nobody's hurt, no accident. We're in good shape. The only casualty had is the camera came off. And so if any of you want to know what I want for Christmas, is I need a new one of those worldview camera things that sees the whole world as you film. So yeah, it's DOA. But basically we've got a lot done. I mean, we didn't get a lot done today, but I got done what I wanted to get done, which was the engine frequency thing. And I'm really pleased with that thing. It's a SCT BDX tuner programmer, I guess. And I've never owned one of those things, and I just bought it to see if I could learn how to tune a car. And it was plug and play, really simple. I didn't have to go get some funky, crazy file somewhere and put it on this. No, none of that. It was just menu driven. I could choose what injectors I wanted, what MAF sensor I had. I can change, the air-fuel ratio by percentage. We started out at 2%, and a car responded really well. So I had stopped to get one of those socially acceptable drug drinks, caffeine, and decided to take it up to 4%. And at idle, it started to sound a little funny, so I brought it back down to 2%, which I'm okay with. But that's kind of how I understand this programming thing works, right? Is you start with small increments, and you see how the car responds. And then, if it responds well, you kind of notch it up a little bit and see how it responds. So make those small increments, and then evaluate, and then come back to it. So, but today we got that frequency thing dialed in. We've got the grocery area here solved, so I'm not getting hit in the head anymore. Got our additional horsepower up in the grill, and got the tails from the hood on the car. I think this video should be called Problems with the Hood, because I had 2 incidents not 5 miles from my house. And, like I said, grateful to be still here on one piece, cars in one piece. So we're in good shape. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your comments and teaching me. I'm learning from you guys on this journey on how to do this better. I'm passionate about these things, but I don't know anything about them. And so I'm doing this to make the mistakes and to improve my knowledge and expand my knowledge in this arena. And so I appreciate when you guys give me comments on things that I can do differently or better. That always helps, because, again, I'm just fumbling through this as I go and sharing that journey with you guys. And I'm glad that you guys are here to be a part of it. We got more videos to come as we approach 24. We got the 93 Fox body back here, like I said, that we need to put that back together. It's completely torn apart. We're going to probably do that in parallel with the 89 that you guys saw in one of the other videos. I've got some surprises for you in 24 that are coming, and I'm excited about those. So click the subscribe button. Check in, let me know what you guys are doing and how your Christmas is going, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.